Hi guys, very good evening and welcome to this session on the 30-day prep plan for the IIM Bangalore's UG exam. Okay, so yes, exactly a month to go for the exam, and I hope all of you have started your preparation in full swing for this exam in particular. All other exams are going to happen after your board exams, but yes, this exam is in 30 days from now, exactly 4 weeks from now. So I hope all of you have started your preparation and all of you have started dreaming about putting your foot on the IIMB campus. So yes, what we're going to discuss now for the next few minutes is overall prep plan and subject wise prep plan also. Exactly what should you be doing for cons, verbal, and logic, and we will talk slightly about how should your attempt strategy be for the mock test also and for the actual exam also. That attempt strategy I'm going to cover really quickly, but today we'll focus more on the prep plan. So the first things first, what you need to be very sure about is the context of this particular exam. The duration is 120 minutes, total only 60 questions. Now this should tell you something about the exam. There are 60 questions with negative marking that too, and you have 120 minutes. If you go by what the normal exam patterns are vis-a-vis their exam level difficulty, you on the onset only you have 2 minutes per question, and you have negative marking, which means you're not expected to attempt every single question. So on a realistic basis, maybe a very good student may end up attempting 45 questions, 50 questions, or something with good accuracy. Which means essentially you have 120 minutes for 40 questions, 45 questions. So you should not look at it like a 60 question 120-minute game. You should essentially look at it like a 40, 45, 50 question 120 minutes game, which obviously increases our time per question. Now that again should tell you that this exam is not going to be one of the easiest exams that you're going to take, or this exam is not going to be as easy as some of the other exams that you are going to take. Okay, so that's the first hint that you should understand from the paper pattern that I am valuing. Second, and the more important and the more obvious thing is the paper pattern, actual paper pattern. English has only 15 questions, logic has only 15 questions, but Cont and DI together have 30 questions. So it's a clearly Cont heavy paper. And they have also said that maths needs to be compulsorily taken in 12th grade, which means they are expecting you to know, and they have in fact very clearly said on their website also that syllabus is going to be NCERT 10th, 11th, and 12th grade level content. So they are expecting you to know, 10th, 11th standard mathematics, even some amount of 12th standard mathematics. So clearly maths heavy paper, because maths is compulsory to even be eligible for this exam. For maths particularly, I don't think, we at IMS don't think that it's going to be one of the easier sections. It will be one of the difficult sections. Yes. So scoring, there is a negative marking, 1/3, for all the incorrect answers. Our educated guess is that anywhere between 45 to 50 attempts with 90% accuracy should be a decent fighting score for you to land, a chance for the next process, which is the PI. So if you take a number of 50 attempts with 90% accuracy, essentially you are talking about 45 right attempts and 5 wrong. 45 right and 5 wrong will fetch your score somewhere around 43-ish. Okay, that out of 60, if you take 1 mark and minus 1/3. So that would be a fighting score, is what we feel at times for this particular exam. Okay, so that's basically the exam pattern. We've not discussed anything new. We've just revisited what IIM Bangalore has already told us. But important thing, you should understand what they've not told us. Okay, so yes, it's a maths heavy paper. It is going to be difficult because they have given you, decent amount of time per question, which means your question selection is going to be very important. And the areas that you select to do for the next 1 month is also going to be pretty important. Okay, so what are you expected to do in the next 30 days? First, I've started this presentation with the assumption that you are going to start your prep now. If you've already started, you already have some amount of head start. But if you haven't started your prep, particular prep for IIM Bangalore, focus prep for IIM Bangalore, it's still not very late, assuming you have finished the syllabus for all of these exams. So first week one, we are only going to fix our weaknesses, only going to fix the concept that we know we are weak at. Week two, we start practicing more, so we get into the second gear of practice, and we start building our speed also and accuracy also. In an exam like IMB, in an exam where you have 2 minutes or slightly more than 2 minutes per question, accuracy is going to matter more than the speed. So that you have to be very cognizant about whenever you are practicing. Week three is going to be full mocks and analyzing the mocks, and week four is where I genuinely feel that you take the pressure off your head, you relax, and do only what is essential, not do anything extra, and you stay sharp on your game. So we are going to go from learning to practice to the mindset of actually taking the exam. Obviously, that mindset we will develop before taking the exam through mocks. Okay, so it's basically learning, practice, and mocks. Simply. Yes. So we started the first week, November 13th to November 19th. Objective is identify gaps and solidify the basics. If you look at the bottom right, the outcome at the end of the week should be that you should be aware of all your week topics, and generally how much time you are taking per section. See, another important thing, again, from the paper pattern that you can understand or conclude is that they have not given you section wise times. Okay, which means for full 120 minutes, all 60 questions are going to be open, which means that you have the chance to play to your strengths. It is not that you have to be excellent at all the three subjects. Only thing is that you cannot be pathetic at any particular subject. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem, because otherwise you won't reach only 45 tests that we talked in the beginning. Okay, so therefore, in an exam like this, in a paper pattern like this, question selection becomes extremely important. We will come to question selection when we start writing mocks, but for now, to be able to also select questions, no, you should be very thorough with what topics you are good at and what topics you are weak at. We currently are 30 days away, which means we have time to work on our weak topics. And as we go closer to the exam, day after day, that list of weak topics should keep on reducing, and the strong topics should keep on increasing. That has to be our objective. Okay, but it's okay if you have, still at the end of the prep cycle also, if you have a few weak topics, we will be able to manage it. It will not be a deal breaker, don't worry. Okay, so your daily focus should be, first you start with revising your fundamentals of arithmetic, of algebra. Also practice a decent amount of higher math topics like trigo, like graphs, inequalities, or those kind of topics. Basically, they are going to play an important role. Is what we are guessing. Okay, just for practice, just to be in the groove, not lose touch. Keep practicing one DI set, one LR set daily. You should not take more than 10-15 minutes currently to practice that one set. So half an hour every day for DI and LR is more than enough. Practice one RC. Again, evaluate yourself on reading speed. This is the time to build your reading speed. If you're not able to read RCs very quickly, or rather, if you're not able to make sense of the RCs very quickly, it's a good time to evaluate that and keep building on that. Okay, so this 1 week you should focus on building your reading speed, and actually not reading speed only, but also your interpretation. speed, your comprehension speed. It's not just to read, but you should understand what the passage is in the first read itself. You read a passage. A lot of students I see, they just go through the passage mechanically and then they go and see the question. And when they see the question, they again go back to the passage. You should not need to go back to the passage. You should know what is talked about in each of the paragraphs of the passage. So you exactly go to that particular paragraph and save your time. And hence, interpreting the RC passage for the very first time when you're reading correctly is very, very important. Okay, so focus on that in this particular. Okay, keep revising all your formulas, whatever modules you have completed, whatever modules you have not completed, please complete that very, very, very quickly. Okay. By the end of the week, I want you guys to write at least one mock. In fact, one mock is enough, not more. One mock is enough. One mock currently should at least tell you, if you are an IMS student, you should have already written a few SIM IPM DBA mocks by now. And those mocks, the purpose only is to ease yourselves into, test taking. The whole mode of shifting the gear from studying to test taking. SIM IPM DBAs will help you. If you have any pending that you have not yet taken, I think you should take it immediately in the next 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. And end of the week, take an IIM Bangalore mock. So that IIM Bangalore mock, that feeling of having that entire 60 questions for full 120 minutes, going through all the questions, seeing what I want to do, what I don't want to do, what I'm sure to be, going wrong with that, try all of that in this first mock. Okay, experiment as much as you wish to. There is absolutely no problem. But analyzing that mock is going to be very, very crucial, which we are going to do in week 2. Okay, so I hope this week at least the agenda is clear. This is what I think you should be able to. You should be doing on a daily basis, at least bare minimum 2 hours, 3 hours on the higher side, but 2 hours, nothing less than 2 will work for Bangalore. Understand that it is Bangalore and it requires what it requires. It doesn't matter after a point what your reality is. I completely empathize with a lot of students that I keep looking for my friends. They tell me that they don't really have time, with their pre-boards lined up, pressure from the schools, pressure from colleges, pressure from coaching classes for their 12th standard. Completely understood, completely taken. But for next 1 month, I will expect you to put a superhuman effort because it is Bangalore. And every single minute that you put for this particular effort, take it from me, it is going to be hands down worth. There is nothing better than IIM Bangalore in the country, right? Okay, so every minute, every hour that you spend for IIM Bangalore prep, take it from me, it's not, it's much more worth it. Forget being wasted, it's much more worth it. So yes, not every day. I think you should practice for an hour. Quickly revise 3-4 chapters at a time and practice 20, at least 20 questions on a daily basis. DILR, as I told you, one set of DI, one set of LR, 30 minutes on in 1 day. So 15 minutes for DI, 15 for LR is enough. LR focus more on the arrangement kind of questions, circular arrangement, linear arrangement, matrix arrangement kind of questions. Simple puzzles, you may just do this once in 2 days, 3 days, don't do it every day. Like blood relations or family tree or any other single question kind of puzzles. Maybe once in 3 days you can do 20 questions in those 15 minutes. So just that you are in touch. LR, the only challenge is that you have to be in touch. You don't have to lose touch with LR. You have to be in the group. So every day practicing only for the purpose of not losing touch. That's our objective for LR. Okay. English again every day, depending on your strengths, whether you are good or not as good in English. I would say you should put anywhere between 30 to 60 minutes. 30 minutes, so maybe do one RC and a few grammar chapters, few vocab chapters, because there are a lot of contextual vocab questions asked even in the RCs. So it's important that you have a vocab in English. It's important that you know all your grammar, especially the rule-based grammar. So all that thing you should practice. So RC for one RC, I don't think should take more than 10-15 minutes or 20 minutes max to start with. Gradually it should keep decreasing. But maybe out of the 30-45 minutes, 20 minutes you can keep for an RC, another 15 minutes or another 20 minutes you should keep for the other verbal topics like grammar and vocab and all. Okay. At the end of the day, just when you finish your prep, just spend 10-15 minutes very, very broadly analyzing whatever revision you have done today. revise that again and just understand that how was your experience. Did you have a very tough time revising time speed distance, but you had not as a tough time revising maybe profit and loss? That should tell you about, about your level of prep, and it's important that you're aware of this level of prep every single day. Okay, so end of this first week, you should know your weak as well as your strong topics, and cover more topics at easy to moderate level of. Our objective is, not as much to go in the in extreme depths of one chapter. As a, it should not be that I have done profit and loss to such insane depth that whatever comes under profit loss I'll be able to do, but I have left SICI complete. So even if you ask me a simple question on difference between SICI, I won't be able to. No, don't take that approach. Okay, it is in these kind of exams, it is better that you have more breadth. Obviously, depth is required, but not beyond a certain level. Depth is not required. So try and do as much of whatever chapters you are finding difficult. I am fine if you don't do all the questions or the highest level of difficulty of that chapter, but you should be doing at least easy, moderate level questions of that chapter. So you can't not do trigo just because it is trigo. You can't not do graphs just because it is graphs. Okay. Higher level of difficulty for trigo graphs, absolutely understood. It's okay. If it is not your cup of tea, not your cup of tea. No big deal. No problems. But you cannot not be doing the simple level questions. So this coverage of topics, the breadth of the topics that you know, even an easy moderate level, that should keep you. Okay, so I hope all of you are clear till here. Going ahead to second week, once you finish week one, once you have enough insight about the strong and weak topics, once you have done one mock, after this, what you should do is start building on fluency and accuracy, but with timed practice. So we now get into the second gear of practicing, more practice, but now it's not just random practice, it is timed practice. Okay, so start basic tests every 2 days. Again, as I told you, if you are a IMS student, you will have the same IPM BKs on your portal. If you're not, you can just do any other simpler level difficulty mocks also. Like if you have a sim SCT or a sim NPAT, you can do those just for the sake of getting into the entire test taking mode also. Okay, and start practicing with clock. So you should target doing 15 questions of quant in 25 minutes, 2 RCs in 20 minutes. If you remember, in the first week, we started giving 20 minutes per RC. We should now target reaching to 2 RCs in 20 minutes, so 10 minutes per RC. So again, it's very important that you develop your fast reading skills, develop those skimming techniques in RC, or maybe directly go to the questions, then go to RC, whatever works for you. But try and figure that out of what works for you and master that. Okay. Just strengthen your RC's reading speed, interpretation speed. That is what you need to do in your second week. Okay, that time that I'm giving to each of these subjects is more or less the same. Quant, same 60-75, LRDI 30 minutes, 15 for each. English again 45 minutes, but the kind of practice that we will do will now change. In week one, it was purely revising the concepts chapter wise, module wise. Now we should start doing test level practice, which means now whenever every 2 days, let's say if you do a schematic BPA, you are essentially exposing yourself to a group of questions which have come from different topics, which means you start exercising your question selection muscle, question selection skill. Okay, every time you see a question yourself that, is this, do I really want to get into this question now? You don't have to solve it just because it has come in front of you. You always have a choice to move ahead and never come back, or come back if you feel like. Okay, so don't fret about leaving questions. It is a very important skill, even going ahead in exams like IPMAT Indore and all. Okay, so practice those also when you do this very simple tests. Okay, extremely important, as I said earlier also, for an exam like IIM Bangalore, for an exam which has a pattern of, at the front only it is telling you, at the onset it is telling you have 2 minutes per question. It is very important that you have high accuracy. Accuracy over speed is very important. Speed at the cost of accuracy is the most useless thing ever that you will develop for yourself. Okay, there is no point attempting everything if you have a pathetic accuracy of 50%. 50% is pathetic. Okay, so don't work on that. If you are at 50%, you should gradually, focus on lowering your attempts and therefore increasing your accuracy percentage. Accuracy percentage less than 75 is not, it is bad. Okay, because you're going to end up earning a lot of negatives. Therefore, there is no judgment there, but it's not a good wise decision to attempt 25 questions which you're going to get wrong. It's just, the math does not. So 80% accuracy is what you should aim for. Gradually going ahead, we will try and reach 85 and 90% accuracy. By the end of the 4 weeks, you should be at 90% accuracy. But now, for now, in the second week, 80% accuracy is a good benchmark to achieve. And if you have achieved it, it's a very good benchmark to even maintain. Maintaining 80% accuracy day after day, test after test is also not a simple task. Okay, so focus on that also. Yeah, so that's how your second week should look like. Fluency in attempting, and very important, whatever you attempt, you should time yourself and attempt so that you don't lose track, and you are always aware of how much time you are putting in a question. A very common observation of mine has been, whenever students talk to me in my clients, whenever they come for analyzing their test, a very common observation is that they get carried away with an RC, with a long DI set, and they lose track of time. And or a logic is actually a better example. Logic people enjoy doing, but they don't realize that they have spent 8 minutes, 10 minutes doing a single set, which is not going to anyway be able. You will not be able to answer more than 3 to 4 questions. It's an absolute waste of time. However fun you had in the exam, it's not going to measure up to anything. So not losing the track of time is again a very important skill that you need to build, and that will happen when you do your time practice. Okay, so timed practice is for that you're always cognizant about that time, that sword hanging on your head, that I'm losing time, and also it's very important that you condition yourself mentally to perform under pressure, because the actual exam pressure is going to be unreal. Your mind is not used to such kind of scenarios. So unless you train your mind to perform in such scenarios, it's not going to just one fine day get up and will be able to do it. You will have to train. So this particular week is for that, training mind to perform under pressure. When the clock is ticking in front of you and you still have to quickly think about a method, quickly do your calculations, that is the real test. Given infinite time, most of you will probably get answers right and answers to most of the questions, but that is sadly not what the test is testing you on. Okay, so yes, so all of this has a lot of other unsaid benefits, like I told you. So do that, develop that fluency, work on accuracy and time practice. All three are very, very, very important to crack an exam like IIM Bangalore, or even even the IPMAT Indore. The fundamentals of these both exams are same. At the outset, again, just by the pattern, I feel it is going to be more of a concept depth exam rather than a speed-based exam. Okay, going on to week 3. Now, week 3 is basically where we start benchmarking ourselves with the actual Bangalore mocks. Okay, so you start writing mocks. One mock every 2 days is what you should definitely do. Okay, very, very important for a 2-hour mock that you write. Please dedicate at least 2.5, 3 hours, even 4 hours if needed for analyzing. Now, there are multiple things that you should do when you're analyzing. See, what analyzing essentially what it means is, even so, these exams, all the aptitude exams that you're preparing for, be it the Bangalore exam, be it IPMAT, be it IPMAT, be it Rotterdam, be it NPAT, SAT, Christ, whatever exam you're preparing for, in your lifetime, or rather in the next 5-6 months, let's say, even if you solve 10,000 questions, there is zero guarantee that even one question will be repeated in any of them. There is no concept of question repetition as is, which is exactly opposite of what you are used in your board studies. Okay, board exams are in a way repetitive, predictive. Okay, these exams are not. Clear? Which means there is no point understanding the solution of that particular question that I could not solve in the mock. Does not mean you don't go through the solutions. You should go through all the solutions. But when you are going through those solutions, the dialogue that you need to have with yourself is that will I be able to solve similar type of questions with different numbers, let's say. Okay, so for example, let's say you went wrong with a successive percentage question, and when you're seeing the solution, the the trick is not that you are able to solve that question after seeing the solution. The trick is you should be able to solve successive percentage type of questions after seeing this. So there has to be always a mental bridge, that maps the solutions with the concepts, maps the question types with the concept. That if I see a question which is worded like this, which this kind of data is given, then I should apply this kind of concept. I should apply this kind of formula. That is the biggest takeaway that you will do when you are analyzing numbers. Okay. Second, important takeaway is the insight that you will generate about yourself. Every single mock you should analyze for every single topic. So you create an Excel, create a blank Excel. On the left hand side, in all the row heads, put all the names of the chapters. Column heads, write the name of the mocks: mock 1, mock 2, mock 3, mock 4. In mock 1 also create 3 columns of attempt, correct, incorrect. Mock 2 again attempt, correct, incorrect. Mock 3 again attempt, correct, incorrect. For every mock that you do, fill the entire Excel vertical. That in the first mock, for example, how many percentage questions I attempted, how many I got correct, how many I got incorrect, how many profit loss questions I attempted, how many correct, how many incorrect, how many contextual vocab, for example, I attempted, correct, incorrect. When you keep doing that for 2, 3 mocks, 4 mocks, after 4 mocks, you will start seeing a pattern about yourself. That pattern can be that I'm consistently doing well in profit and loss. So that tells you that profit loss is your strong. I am consistently getting the answer for quadratic equation, let's say, wrong. Which means you end up attempting quadratic equation every time and you are getting wrong. Which means you think that you know quadratic, but it is not the fact. The data is saying something. Okay. Some topic you will observe that you've not attempted in any more, which it's a clear red flag that that's topic that you need to work on. A lot of times you will see that you end up spending 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then you end up either not attempting or getting it wrong, which means your question selection is not correct. You think the question is easy, therefore you get into it. Only once you get into it, you realize, oh, okay, this is not really an easy question. I need to move on. So how fast you are able to move on is something that you will understand when you analyze. So all these insights from that single mock analysis is what is very, very important. I'm sure all of you agree to one thing, that if there is no change in the input, you can't expect any change in the output for any system. Correct. So when you write mock 1, vis-a-vis when you write mock 2, if there is no change in you as a person from mock 1 to mock 2, don't expect any different result for mock 2 vis-a-vis mock 1. Okay. So this value addition to your person from mock 1 to mock 2 will only happen when you analyze. That is very, very, very important. Otherwise, even if you write 15 mocks, it's not really taking place. Okay, so analysis is more important. Understanding these insights about yourself is more important. Okay, so yes, daily focus, 3 full length mocks this week, 1 every alternate day. Analyze every mock thoroughly. So the day that you're not writing mocks, you should spend time analyzing and practice switching between the sections. I've written their experiment. So in this week, when you're writing 3 mocks, experiment. Some mocks you should start with English, some mocks start with logic, some mocks start with a quant. So you'll also understand how much mental stamina you have built. It's one thing that people always say that you start with your strong sections. I'm leaving that to you. I don't want to give you that one umbrella statement which is going to be true for everybody. It may not be true for everybody. For a lot of people, they feel like logic is my strong section. I'll start with logic, then I'll do English. Quant is my weak case, so let me go to the quant last. But what that also does is that you've already exhausted your mental capacity in logic and English. Quant anyway is weak. So you are going with a tired frame of mind to a difficult section that you anyway do. It may work counterproductive also. So I don't want to give you one approach. I want you to experiment and find out your own answers of which pattern works best. Okay, what you have to understand is whatever section you attempt third will obviously you will be attempting with a tired mind. unless you build your mental stamina so that you are at the top of your concentration for full 120 minutes. That should be your objective. Also, in this exam, because there is no section, it is not necessary that you attend full section. Go quickly, start with logic, see what are the easy questions, attend them. Go to verbal, see what are the easy RCs, what are the easy grammar questions, do that. Go to quant, figure out the first whatever 12 easy questions, simpler questions, attend them. Then you can go again to logic, figure out the difficult side, whatever. So I am completely spent first 5 minutes, 7 minutes, quickly going through the paper and understanding. This is doable, this is doable, this is doable. I'm reading this, all that. Do all that harder than you want in this. An experiment as much as by the end of it, come out with a strategy that is working for you. Create that insight for yourself. Come out with a strategy that is working for you. Okay. So yeah. So in this week, your tasks have to be mocks, analysis the next day, and as soon as you analyze and you realize that topic 1, 2, 3, 4 are my weak areas, practice additional questions from that particular. Not neglecting what we are strong at, we should also practice our weak areas. Okay. Very important, by the end of the week, you should have a stable attempt pattern. You should have figured out something for yourself. Okay. So 45-50 questions at 85-90% accuracy is what we are aiming for. This is what you need to be. This is where you need to reach by December 3. Okay, exactly. Roughly, let's say 10 days before the exam. Okay. Yeah. Week 4 final revision. You have to be at your top mental game. You in this week, you cannot afford to be tired after 80 minutes, tired after 90 minutes, tired after 50 minutes. You have to be at your best top concentration game for the full 120 minutes. Do not zone out in the middle of the exam. Do not take unwanted breaks. Very conscious 30-second, 1 minute break after every 30 minutes is also recommended, in fact, a lot of times. So if that works for you, absolutely no problem. But very important, in the last week, do not do anything new. Okay, don't get into learning any new things that you haven't learned or you haven't played in the mocks before. Keep your practice also very light. Don't stress yourself too much with 3 hours of content, 2 hours of English, and 2 hours of logic. Keep the practice also light. Keep revising vocab, keep revising grammar rules, keep revising quant formulae every day. That has to happen every day because there is a lot of repetition value. Okay. And the final week, in the last maybe 8 days, 1 or max 2 mocks should be enough for you. These mocks majorly are supposed to help you in confidence building. By that, in the previous week, we've already stabilized our pattern. Therefore, we've already stabilized our score of days. This week, these mocks should only reinforce that score range, and we should be stably attempting all of that. As soon as the admit cards are out, as soon as the admit cards are out, they have not yet declared the date when they will tell us. But as soon as the admit cards are out, this is for after to take them off after the admit card and take them off exactly at the time when your actual exam is going to happen. You should also adjust your sleep cycle to that particular time. Okay, so if if we have absolutely no idea, but if they say that there is an afternoon session also, a lot of you have an habit of taking a nap in the afternoon. But if your exam is 2 to 4, let's say, or 12:30 to 30, you cannot afford to continue your naps in the afternoon. You should start tuning your body to not having naps and be at the top of your mind game during that time of the day. Okay, so start working with your body also that way. So yeah, so this is just quick section-wise daily targets, quantity 20-25 questions, focusing on speed and accuracy both. Logic reasoning, 2 sets, familiarity with patterns is what our objective is. There should not be anything in logic that you not see and suddenly comes out in the exam. That you have to avoid. Okay, English 1 RC and 10 grammar vocab questions. Very important is precision while reading. Don't quickly just skim through words without understanding it. That is very important. Okay. Yeah. Mock practice and analysis steps. During the mocks, attempt easy questions quickly, skip the tough DI sets, or lengthy or difficult worded RCs. Very important is the last word early there. Okay, if you are skipping a DI set after investing 4 minutes, it's a pointless thing. I mean, it's good that you don't spend the fifth and the sixth minute also in the same DI set, but 4 minutes, 5 minutes is too long for you to decide. Okay, so that decision has to come in the first minute itself, whether you will solve the whole thing or not. Okay, so don't take a lot of time to decide whether you want to skip it or not. So that's very important. Keep this 5 minute buffer at the end, or look at it as a 115 minutes game, not 120 minutes game. Just to quickly go through all of that, while attempting the paper also, you should mark questions that you want to come back. So in the last 5 minutes, you can quickly go through those questions and see if there were any signals that you have missed, and all of that. Just basically housekeeping operations have to be done in these last 5 minutes so that you don't miss out anything from this. Okay. After every mock, as what we already discussed, you should log any mistake in the Excel format that I talked about earlier. Track your average time per correct question, and that also needs to keep going down. Okay, reattempt the unsolved and the wrong ones the next day. Here, one very important thing is, whatever mocks you are attempting, all IMS mocks definitely have best quality videos. So whatever the questions are attempting, even if you got the questions right, I would want you to go through the video solution. It may happen that you have attempted that question in 3 minutes, whereas the video solution, the mentor is saying that this question could have been attempted in 30 seconds. So you don't want to lose out on such shortcuts even for the questions that you've gotten correct. So even for those right questions, it will not harm if you go through the video solution. So please ensure that you reattempt all the questions, whether you got right or wrong, through with the medium of the video solution. Okay. Yeah, so just to quickly summarize, week 1, you're going to fix your weak concepts. At the end of the week, you should be exactly clear where you are strong, where you are weak. Week 2, you build your speed, you build your accuracy, and you build your fluency. So start writing very, very basic mocks that I was talking about, just to get you into the group and exam taking also. Week 3 obviously has to be full throttle on mocks and analysis of the mocks. Week 4, again, there you go light, chill. Don't do anything new. Keep revising what you already know. That much should be enough. Have enough rest. Whatever hobbies that you pursue, swimming, tennis, yoga, meditation, etc. Keep doing that throughout. It's very important that you take mind breaks throughout the day. So do that. Week 4 also you can keep doing that. That is absolutely. In fact, it is recommended. So do that. Okay. Don't over stress yourself, because otherwise stress will mess up more than your lack of knowledge or your lack of any other skill. So yeah, you should in the mocks also, in the exam, you should be smart with your attempts. Very important is accurate with your attempts, and most important, be calm and just enjoy the process. Some battles are so glorious that it is some battles are so difficult rather that it is fantastic even to fight the battle. It is glorious even to fight that particular battle. Forget the outcome of the battle. This is one such. Okay, your prep for IIM Bangalore is one such thing. Your prep for IPMAT Indore is one such thing. That the outcome is so fantastic that even if you fail there, you can walk out with your heads held high. Okay, so yeah, I think that's where I end today. All the very best. I hope you guys, all of you guys, do really well. Put in all your best efforts, and frankly, don't be stressed with the outcome. All the best. Okay, I'll just quickly take a few questions now from the YouTube chat. Lakshanya Chopra sir, will there be sectional cutoff or only overall cutoff? They have not mentioned anything, so I think it is safe for us to assume that there will be overall cutoff. Otherwise, they would have mentioned sectional cutoff. But again, nothing stops Bangalore from announcing it later also. But for now, I would say overall cutoff. Tanmay sir, I haven't completed the portion yet. Which topic should I focus on? Tanmay, I covered in my first slide. You should start with arithmetic, go to numbers, and do your modern maths for sure. Yeah. Which topics hold the most weightage here? I genuinely hope I had the answer to that. Exam is happening for the first time, so there is absolutely no history. And now that Bangalore has done other courses also, other exams also in the past, that we have anything to go by. So not really confident about telling you anything. But any educated guess, if I have to take, I would say arithmetic. I would say higher. Okay. Yes, 200 plus is a good score in CIM IPM BBA. Point is, you don't have to stop there, you have to keep getting. Okay, big man. Will it be as difficult as IPMAT Indore or higher, lower? We think it may be slightly lower, or maybe at par with IPMAT Indore. Not, I don't think it's going to be very, very difficult than IPMAT. What would be a decent expected cutoff for general category? My guess would be between 43, 45, 47 for general category. How many questions should we attempt? I discussed this on the very first slide. 45 to 50 questions, 90% accuracy. Okay. When will the IIM admit card be released? Absolutely no idea. I don't think Bangalore has announced. So sorry. Yes, anything else? I don't see any more questions. If nothing, then we can end it. All the very best. Do well. And if you have questions, please put it on the chat. Yes, swiftly saber, it's safe to assume that you will have higher level maths because the syllabus is also including the NCERT 12th grade maths. So, yes. Purti, they have not declared there is a sectional time limit. They have only said 120 minutes for 60 questions. So, it's a safe assumption that there won't be a sectional time. Preet Joshi, do we have to study differentiation integration level questions? Calculus, I think it may just be safe to skip it because even if they come, there might be 2-3 questions, not more. And that many questions you can afford to leave if you've done everything else properly. So if derivative integration is a tough nut to crack for all of you, and if you're anyway finding it difficult for your 12th boards, you may not want to do a lot more on that. Focus on other modules more. And even if you see 1 or 2 questions, you may want to skip those questions. NCERT level, they've said NCERT level very clearly in their syllabus. So I don't think it is higher than NCERT. They have very clearly said NCERT 10th, 11th, and 12th level is the syllabus. Yes, okay. So yeah, I don't think there are any more questions. We should end here. Thank you, and I hope this has been helpful. This has been a little insightful, if not more. And all the best, and do read.